What is up, everyone, and how are you all doing today? We got a bunch of people in the house hanging out with us. Nico is here. What's up, Nico? No, long time no speak. Yeah, welcome to hang out with us, man. You've got Sir Mr. Jason saying, what's up? Well, hello to you, Mr. Jason. Giovanni's here as well. PM says, here too. We got Kavik, and we got a bunch of people chiming in, and why? Because it is CPI data day. And Montage, I'm sorry, I'm literally just trying to get everything ready. Mojtaba Nahavi says, you know what? I am desperately hoping that the CPI looks better because other currencies in the world are hugely affected by the United States. So check out that comment pinned at the top, and that's going to be why we cover this. I get it. This is the United States CPI data. But there are a lot of countries across the globe that take cues from the Fed. There's a lot of countries that mimic U.S. economic policy exactly. It's like mirror mode in Mario Kart, right? And that's why we cover this stuff. We got a bunch of people in the house. Hector the Great is here. Low Life Gaming, Alcoholic Click, S. Rowling, Chef Natron. We got a bunch of people hanging out with us this morning. Now, what's going to happen is this. If you're new to the live stream, good morning, good afternoon, hello. It is 8:02 Eastern Time. The data comes out at 8:30 a.m. So we've got about 28 minutes until CPI data comes out. We're going to take a look at the crypto market. We're going to take a look to see what's popping. Gold is what's popping, and here's what's really, really important about that. The reason gold is popping is because central banks are buying gold. So this whole thing about central banks buying crypto, no. Central banks are buying globe. They're buying gold because of fears of global macroeconomic issues along with Middle East conflict. Heckler and Cook says, we have a bet at work. I'm betting it's coming in hot. Yes, good bet to take. Here's why. The reason people are thinking today is going to be a hot one, housing was bad. Energy costs have been going up. So if housing and energy stays the way they have, it will be making, yes, another nasty CPI data report. Here's the fear that we're having here in the United States. And please check out the comment pinned at the top because that is proof. I'm telling you, that shows you that it's not just the U.S. that gets affected by this, it's the whole world. We essentially have been at 3% CPI data, right, inflation rate, for June of 2023. That's almost a whole year of this sideways action. Now, our friends across the pond, they're looking a little bit better, right? Yes, theirs is higher, but theirs is also going down a bit faster. Simone is also hanging out with us. Good morning, Simone. Marvin Cuervo says, present from the Philippines. Wow, we've got watchers from all over the place. Nico says, CPI will be flat or lower during election year numbers magically change. Nico, if we're going to get that kind of movement is going to happen closer to the election. It's still too close. It's still too far away to have that election effect. Think about this, right? Let's say they fix gas prices. Let's say they fix inflation and all that kind of fun stuff. If you do it now in April, by the time people go to the polls to vote in November, they've forgotten about it. So if you're thinking you're going to get some juicy data election-wise, you got to look closer to the elections. You got to look in that September-October range to get the hype and get the pump going. Messi Leo says, what's my CPI data guess? Honestly, I'm looking at anywhere from 3.1 to 3.4, and that is not what we need. 3.1 to 3.4 is my guess, with the Fed saying that the majority of the inflation going up has to do with housing and energy. That's what I'm saying. Bo is also hanging out with us in the house. Some Florida love there. What's up, Bo? How are you all doing? Let's take a quick look across the heat map and oh gosh, what the hell is happening? Well, I know what's happening. The market's getting ready because what happens here is that if we get nasty CPI data, and I mean like bad stuff, okay? what happens is that puts more pressure on the Fed to raise their rates, and that's not what we want. We want the Fed to start lowering rates so things can be more affordable for all of us. And holy crap, dude, I got a bunch of links here that I need to go through and clean up. And so right now, when you look at the Fed data, okay, the Fed meets on the 21 days away from here. The majority of people, I think, hold. Now, there was a blip that did say, hey, look, we're going to raise it a quarter, all right? That blip had to do with the data, all right? The data from the jobs report, which came in really juicy. Frankie Ortiz hanging out with us as well. RN says, I think it'll be over 15. I hope it's not over 15. Oh, my gosh. AJX Norton says, like Klaus's channel. Come on, guys. He won't tell you. What? I will. You can like my channel. You cannot like it. Hopefully, you guys like the channel. But the deal is this. The deal is how far are we going to push rates down the road? How far are we going to kick the can down the road for lowering rates? If inflation stays hot, okay, and if this does not go down right here, you're going to have higher rates for longer, and that's not what we want. Arno Golmer says, Hola, Klaus Meister. Hola, back to you, kind sir. Yeah, we're hanging out this morning. We've got about 23 minutes until the data comes out, and we're going to go deep dive in the data. My expectation is anywhere from 3.1 to 3.4 with housing and energy, okay? If you want to record it, housing and energy being the things that we have to worry about here. St. Pereira says, afternoon from Wimbledon. Yes, some love across the pond. Speaking of love across the pond, what I've got up here on the screen is the UK's inflation data. Now, the UK CPI data comes out, I believe it's the 20th. I'm almost positive it's the 20th. It's the 17th or the 20th that it comes out. And the UK had a really good move here. Check this out. This is from the UK. This is what theirs has looked like over the last year. All right? I mean, that's good. That's a good movement on the way down. Now, look at the United States' for the last. Right? We did good knocking it down, and now we're going sideways. So what our friends across the pond are hoping for is that they don't fall into the same trap the United States is, where inflation just kind of holds right there at 3%. That would be brutal. Nico says, Jerome's wet dream of 2% is unrealistic. Looks like 3% is the new happy. Nico, I hope not, man. Dude, seriously, because could you imagine if instead of holding at this 2% number, which 2% isn't good, 2% inflation itself still sucks. Because let's be real here. It's worse than 2%, right? It's worse than the 3% we're feeling. We know it's way higher than that. But if 3% becomes our new norm, that's too high for too long. That's a lot of damage. Cappadocia checking in, and that is from Camille. Thank you very much. RN says, is this a number where they like to leave out the cost of energy and food? No, this one has energy and food in it specifically, RN. This is the one that we do that has energy and food into it. In fact, when you go into the CPI data, and this bls.gov link, okay, this is linked in the description below. This bls.gov link, if you go to the HTML version or the PDF here and you click on it, you can actually see they say this, right? The shelter for index rose, as did the gasoline index, right? So this one covers that juicy stuff. So that's why we follow this one, because it is a pretty good broad spectrum pull for the data. All right. Now, when we're looking at the heat map isn't pretty. I mean, it's kind of pretty, right? I mean, Bitcoin's not far from the all-time highs. Sol is pretty close to 200. ICP, all right. I think people get a little concerned regarding ICP. ICP was really close, touching that $20 mark. Now down 9% last 24 hours. Near Protocol down 9% as well. Aptos down 12%. So we've got some pretty big pullbacks in the market as of now. But what's happening is this, okay, is you're having risk asset classes taking a really hit, okay? Now here's one. This is what it says. It says, gold tends to become more attractive in times of instability, when investors pile into safe haven assets against a hedge against the economic climate, geopolitical tensions, or inflation. Now, gold has been roaring. Here, check this out. This is the 2-year chart for gold, 2-year chart for XLM, 2-year chart for XRP, 2-year chart for gold, and a 2-year chart for Bitcoin. Do you notice how gold and Bitcoin look very identical to each other? Look at that. Very identical as I switch back and forth. All right. And Edwin hanging out with us. Thank you, Edwin, for supporting the channel. Everyone, give Edwin a big thank you for supporting the channel. I appreciate it, kind sir. The super chats do big help for this channel. They really do, and I'm very appreciative of it. S. Rowling says inflation rate equals long-term government wastage. Dude, if we were scoring government's wastage, we would be in the double digits for like, holy crap ever. Because if that's the one thing that bothers me is I get it. We all pay our taxes. Maybe not all of us pay our taxes, but those of us that don't want to get in trouble, we pay our taxes. But we're not getting the value for the tax money that we're putting in. Like, if my wife or myself has something that affects our job, affects our income. Let's say something happens to me, you, your wife, your husband, your spouse, whatever, and you lose your job. What do? You cut costs. You don't just keep spending and borrowing. You cut costs. But the United States just isn't doing it. They're just not cutting. In fact, when we go to the debt clock, right, this is all countries that are having problems with this. And yes, first to support today. Well done, Edwin. Edwin creating the category of first to support. I love it. But that's where the fear is coming from. And the fear is being reflective upon the price of safe haven assets. Now, when you look at the crypto market as a whole, what is your safest asset in the crypto market as a whole? Obviously, people are going to say stable coins, right? Stable coins, obvious. Now, what's the most store of value in? Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is the safest asset. Think about this. With Matic down 6%, ICP down 10 nearly, Near down 10 nearly, okay? The whole thing is this, Bitcoin's only down 2.4%. In fact, Bitcoin's not that far from all-time highs. So when we start looking at it, it's like, okay, this makes a lot more sense here, because what happens is we're looking at things not being that far from their all-time high, which is Bitcoin, which is your safe haven play. And the Bitcoin chart looks a lot like gold. Check it out. Gold has had a little bit more of a finish here at the end as things have gotten a little bit more crazy. Bitcoin's kind of run up to that 70,000 mark here for the last couple weeks, but they look identical. XRP, XLM, essentially sideways the last 2 years, with gold and Bitcoin being the store of value play that's pumping big time here. Now, let's do a couple filters. Actually, let's customize this, all right? We want to see how far is this from all-time high as well, okay? That's what I want to see. All-time high, where are we looking? And let's do this. Let's switch this over to the 30-day chart. Let's add that. Let's get rid of volume. Let's apply the changes. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. This column right here from ATH, all right? Bitcoin right now is only 6% away from an all-time high. Ethereum, 28%. BNB, 15%. Solana, 35%. And then you get this big jump to XRP at 84%. Of your top 10 cryptos, XRP is the worst performing one. 84% off of all-time high. It's risky. It's not that it's a knock on XRP or XLM. It's risky. XRP, way more risky than BTC. That's why BTC has definitely been clawing its way back, because it's a store of value play. When you think of store of value, you think of inflation. Okay, how do we hedge against inflation? Where can you park your money where you're going to get something for it, where your value of your money doesn't erode? A lot of people like doing what? They like buying houses, which is great. House is a great place for store of value. But housing is super expensive right now. And the premiums in terms of the loans, the interest rates that you pay for these houses is way high. So that's a big, big mess. Sir Mr. Jason says, do Avalanche. I got your back. Yeah, if you guys and gals got questions, comments, man, I got you. Avalanche, 68%, here you go, from all-time highs. So that's still a better performer, okay? You don't really get into the nasty 80%. You got Cardano at 81. You've got Polkadot at 85. Bitcoin Cash at 86. ICP, yeah, we get that one. But the majority of the top performing cryptos are not as far off of their all-time highs as XRP is. There's some risk involved. More so than others, because you got the court case. You've got all the Garlinghouse fight. The other thing, too, that I know a lot of XRP holders are upset about is, hey, look, how come you're not putting XRP on the liquidity hub, but we know you're going to put your stable coin on the liquidity hub. So where is the support for XRP? And when you look at the charts, yes, that's reflective of it. This is a 2-year chart of XRP. Compare that 2-year chart of XRP to gold, and you're like, oh, boring gold is doing good? Yeah, boring gold is doing good because boring gold is a good way to hedge against inflation. Gold is so juicy that central banks are buying. Gold continues to climb, decoupling from its traditionally tight relationship with U.S. Treasuries. Instead, central bank buying has been the main driver. China's central bank added gold to its reserve for the 17th month in a row. Other nations have also been adding to their gold reserves. I mean, that is huge. You're seeing it. Look at this. This is from the Fed rate policy stuff. We expect gold prices to remain volatile in the coming months as the market reacts to macro drivers, tracking geopolitical events and Fed rate policy. So that's why we cover geopolitical, macro events, and economic events on this channel, because it moves the market. John Page says, the mood in Australia is that there could be a rate drop for you. 60 to 40% chance. No way in hell are we getting a rate drop. No way in hell. In fact, when we start looking at, if we look at the May contract, all right, let's just start off with the May contract. The May contract has 97.2% chance of a pause. 97.2. So when you look at the market, right, and when you look at the crypto markets and stock markets, you're going, okay. We're pricing in the negativity. We're pricing in the pause. All right, that's big. Now look, go in a little bit further. So go to the June contract. All right, let's switch to the June contract. June contract comes up. Okay, now you got about a 50% chance that we're going to do a rate cut. That's a bit optimistic, especially if CPI data doesn't come down, but it's looking better. The problem we're seeing is that we were expecting 2 rate cuts this year. We're going to be lucky to get 1. So Mr. Jason says, do you think it has something to do with the conflicts that we've all been having as well? Oh, definitely. Middle East tensions are a big driver with macro data. The reason Middle East tensions are a big driver with macro data because a lot of oil flows through the Middle East. So if you've got like things heating up in the Middle East, some of those supply routes and distribution routes for oil will get messed up. If the oil distribution routes get messed up, what do you think happens to energy prices? Energy prices go up. When energy prices go up, what do you think that puts pressure on? CPI data. And with housing and energy being the 2 biggest things right now affecting macros, Middle East conflicts are definitely weighing in heavily. That's also been another big reason of why you're seeing people flock to gold. It is because it's a safe haven play. Is it boring? Yes, gold is very boring. Gold moves 2%. We're excited. We're freaking out. We're like, yeah, this is awesome. We're going to the clubs. Dude, it's a 2% move. But that's how the gold market is. Edwin says, how late does CPI data come out? Good question. CPI data comes out in 12 more minutes, sir. So let me write that here in the chat. 8:30 p.m. We're not. 8:30 a.m. Eastern time, CPI data comes out. Got your back, Edwin. So yeah, this is all coming down to the safe haven play. Things are risky. Things are very risky right now. When you look at the crypto markets, okay, one of the things that's really been bothering people was, hey, we've had a big pump in lending. Well, that's awesome. That's a sign that the market is starting to thaw and money is starting to flow. But the problem is if people are overextended with lending and there's some leverage involved on top of that, and you have a correction, the forced liquidations are just disgusting. I mean, just absolutely disgusting. So we have to be careful that the crypto market itself doesn't fall into the same problems. Now, here's what I'm gonna bring up, okay? One of the fears that we're talking about, and that a lot of us are talking about, is remember when Luna UST crashed and then Celsius and all that? Remember when all that happened, okay, a couple years ago? You had this company which was borrowing money from this company who was borrowing money from this company who's going to borrow from this and this and this and this, right? The same thing is happening now because Tether USDT has now got some Bitcoin as their reserves. Michael Saylor is balls deep into Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin retraces, MicroStrategy stock will retrace. If MicroStrategy stock retraces heavily, you know that not only MicroStrategy, but your Bitcoin miners will pull back. If your Bitcoin miners pull back and your MicroStrategy, sailors and all them pull back, you're going to have Coinbase pull back. If Coinbase pulls back, then you've got a massive sector of down pressure where there's a lot of traditional money flowing through it. And you're like, wait a minute, where is this traditional money coming from? The traditional money is coming from the ETFs. So think about that. That's money, right, that was on the traditional side of finance that's now getting into crypto, and that's tied to ETFs. So if a bunch of people from the traditional side of banking, right, the boring side of banking are into ETFs, and we see more pressure on BTC put down, that means the ETFs will get flushed. That means that traditional finance will get flushed with it. That's not what we want. So that's why you're seeing more and more the store of value play at higher risk times. With Middle East conflicts heating up, with energy costs heating up, with other drivers like housing across the globe heating up, that is why everyone right now is putting into the safe haven play of gold in Bitcoin. Bitcoin, right, is the digital gold. It's the safe, boring part of the crypto market. Gold, right, is the physical gold of the traditional physicals market. Let me get a quick drink right here. And for all of you that are watching that weren't here for the intro, I just wanted to say to you, happy Wednesday, everyone. Hopefully you're having a good day, and hopefully CPI data comes in really, really juicy. More monkey businesses. How are you doing, Klaus? I'm doing good. I had a couple rest days. My legs are a little sore, I gotta be honest with you. My legs are a little sore from all the training I've been doing lately, but I had a couple good rest days, which felt nice. I might take one more day off, but I'm doing good. How are you all doing? Hopefully your Wednesday is treating you well. John Page says, we follow your economic decisions. You drop rate, we drop rate. We nearly dropped rates last month, but the media is touting it as a possible rate drop, just saying. Yeah, the media is going to always be on the positive side of that, right? Because the market wants good news. The market is just begging for good news, okay? In fact, when we were looking at the contracts, it used to be the March contract, last month's contract that we were looking at for rate cuts, and that's been pushed out. Trick is hanging out with us. Hello, Trick. Trick's is top of the afternoon. Thank you kindly, Trick. I appreciate it. Top of the afternoon back to you, sir. And here, check out this. Look at the post that I have up at the top of the chat. All right, check it out. Look at the post I got up at the top of the chat, okay? This is from a viewer that is in the Middle East saying that, you know what? The United States has so much power over other currencies in the world and so forth. There is so much economic strength that when these decisions happen, it affects more than the United States. It affects like almost the entire globe, especially in terms of trade. X Factor says I think they might raise it a quarter. Dude, if they raise it a quarter, we are in deep crap. If they raise it a quarter, I am going to freak out because that will drive gold through the freaking roof and metals through the roof. Seriously. Raising a quarter right now would do a lot of damage. Housing is already expensive and you would make it even more expensive. 3.4% to make it bullish. If you want bullish for CPI data, you need it to start with the 2s. Anything that starts with a 3 today is a loss. Seriously, it's a loss. Here's why. This is the inflation data for the United States. Look at this. Yeah, we did good. We got down to 3.0. We touched it once. And then look at it. 3.2, 3.7, 3.7, 3.2, 3.1, 3.4, 3.1, 3.2. We're just not there. Now, if you switch over to the UK for our friends across the pond, yours, yes, higher than ours, but you've done a much better job knocking inflation down and keeping it down. Where, yeah, we knocked it down as you can see here, but now it's just trading sideways. That's not good. That's not good at all. Last Chance says, crypto regulations hit and all this changes. That's not true. Even if you have crypto regs don't change the economic factors that are happening right now across the globe. What are we worried about? Middle East tension? We're worried about providing for our families, so food, housing, stuff like that, rent, right? And cost of living goods just going through the roof. Regs have zero effect on cost of living. Regs have zero effect on store of value play. Regs are just regs. If regs come in and we have crappy economic situations, you still got crappy economic situations. Regs don't change that. What's keeping crypto from really like doing like gangbusters good? Yeah, BTC is close to all-time high, but the rest of crypto isn't. Venture capital money isn't coming into play. Now, venture capital money is starting to look better because venture capitalists are looking at this going, okay, we might be seeing some rates pull back here near the end of the year. Okay, we can handle that. They'll start investing more. We need venture capital money to come back in and support crypto. Now, you're saying, well, why would you need venture capital money for crypto? Dude, devs need to get paid, man. Devs need to get paid. How many devs do you think are getting paid when like your native token is down 85% against all-time highs? You're not. How many devs are getting paid when there's no investments from venture capitalists? So you need venture capital money to come in so that the devs get paid so they build more. That's just the God's honest truth. And you can see it here that a lot of these cryptos are way far away from their all-time highs. Doge 75% away, Cardano 81, XRP 84%, 86 for Bitcoin Cash, Polkadot 85. So that's a lot. You need devs to step in and start bringing more money to the ecosystems. That's the big one. You need devs to come in and start supporting the ecosystems so that you actually have more building and more growth and more usage of these chains. Regs, yeah, regs are awesome. Regs are great. We would all love regs. We're not getting regs this year. We're not. We're not in the United States, at least. We're sure as hell not getting it. And the regs that are coming out are really good at controlling you and making sure that your privacy goes away. So are those really the regs that we want? I don't know. CPI data is coming out in 3 minutes. We're going to be checking it out. Let's hope for something in the 2 range. 2.9, 2.8, 2.7 would be something we would love to see because that would be the lowest we've ever had. We haven't had a report in the 2s in a couple years. All right, zoom out a little bit to the 5-year. When was the last time we had something in the 2s? Look at that right there. March of 2021, we had 2.6% and 1.7% in February 2021. So we're a ways off. We are a ways off. BZ's hanging out with us and says, greetings, human and self-aware bots. Yes, there's quite a few bots. Dot has a higher developer community, or Dot has a higher developing community and still 85% off of all-time highs. Yeah, the developer community can be strong, but what if there's no money flowing into the devs? See, venture capitalists invest a lot into development. That's where they're going to make their juice. I'm telling you, devs need it. Devs right now, okay, so I get a lot of messages over on Twitter. Yeah, I'm still calling it Twitter. Leave me alone, okay? I get a lot of messages over on Twitter from devs that are saying, hey, this really sucks. We're not making any money. We're working for free. That's not good. Like, would you put a lot of work in for free? Hell no. And these devs are all saying the same thing. They're waiting for the big capital to come in, and the big capital is venture capital money. That's what we're waiting for. Moshtaba says, sorry, I lost connection. The government in Iran slows down the internet, flat out blocks it. Well, don't worry, sir. If you missed this video, it will be in the live stream folder so you can catch the beginning. Ricardo says, I'm not about, you did not miss anything yet, sir. We are about to get CPI data here any minute. And remember, we're looking for something. Yeah, I'm thinking 3.1 to 3.4. That's my guess is 3.1 to 3.4. Nico says, inflation percentage rate gains is better than XLM's performance. XLM's performance has been piss poor. It has been piss poor. People are totally moving on regarding XLM because what is it doing? Oh, here we go. We got the data in. No. Oh, give me a second. Hold on. Sorry. I jumped the gun a little bit there. My bad on that, everyone. Yeah, I'm just waiting for here. Give me a second. February at 3.2. We're at 3.2 the previous month. Let's see if we could get something a little bit better than that. Give me a second here. The data should be coming out any second. I am refreshing it. Give me a second here. Come on. CPI data. Come on. Dump us some good stuff. Let's see what we got. Big money, big money, big money. Come on. CPI data. You need to refresh, my good man. That's what I keep hitting the refresh button for. Yeah, a lot of bets are coming in that we're going to be in the mid threes. What we need is something in the twos. Sorry, I'm just waiting. I just keep clicking the refresh button right now. I'm waiting for the March data. Give me a second here. I'm going to go to this. I'm going to refresh this scene. Oh, here we go. 3.5. 3.5. This is the worst thing that we wanted to see. 3.5 for the data. This is bad news, everyone. I've got it right here. 3.5. That is absolutely atrocious. That was higher than my guess. My guess was 3.1 to 3.4. 3.5 is absolute garbage. And the worst part about it, here, let's, holy shit. Sorry, check this out. Look at this. This is not, everything went up. Oh my gosh, here, I'm gonna read this for you, okay? And remember, I said gasoline and housing is what's gonna drive it, okay? That's what I'm telling you. I said gasoline and housing is, and let me read it to you. The CPI for all urban consumers increased 0.4% in March. The same increases in February. Over the last 12 months, all items have increased 3.5%. And here we go. This is why you watch this channel, because Klaus knows what's up. The index for shelter rose in March, as did the index for gasoline. Combined, these two indices contributed for over half the monthly increase. There you go. I said it. I told you. I said the report was going to come out, not good, and it was going to be high on housing and high on energy. And there you go. That's exactly what happened. That is not what we need right now. Now, what's going to happen is that's going to put more pressure on gold, obviously. It's going to put some, now, and that's good pressure on gold, by the way. For XRP, XLM for cryptos, the crypto market's not going to react good to this. This is not good, man. This is not good. God. What the hell, man? Like, this is, it's energy and housing. And look, be real with me. Energy and housing is not breaking right now. It's just not. Ajax Norton says, my motorcycle will serve me well at the gas station. Dude, my brother rides a bike. He rides an SV650. And my brother has been commuting with his motorcycle. Like, commuting with his motorcycle because it's so much more affordable paying the gas like that. Oh, this is not what we wanted. We got the halving 9 days away. You've got inflation data that now has gone up. And here's the problem. Look at this. We're not knocking it down. This is going to put more pressure on the Fed to keep rates higher for longer. So for those of you, Nico, year over year was 3.5. Here you go. For over the last 12 months, 3.5% before seasonal adjustment. That's a mess, dude. This is an absolute mess right now with inflation. This is not what we wanted to see. And for those of you that don't know what we're talking about here, yes, inflation went up again, 0.4% increase, and the worst part is housing and fuel is up. Now, there is someone in the listening and watching audience right now, and that person is Trick. Trick has been telling me for the longest time, dude, we're not going to get any rate decreases this year. More and more, it's looking like Trick knows exactly what he's talking about, because right now, with CPI data like this, Jerome Powell and the Fed's not even going to think about lowering rates because the data is so bad. Are we going to get housing under control? No, not until we build more houses. Are we going to get energy under control? No, because we're not energy independent and we're not doing it the right way. This sucks, man. This really, really sucks. Here you go, Bitcoin doing the old dumperoo on the news. We've got the chart up on the screen. Look at that. I zoomed in just a little bit so you could see the news. That's why we cover macros, man. That is why we cover macros on this channel. All right? Because of this. Because of tensions. Because of all this crap that we're about here. Let's zoom into gold and see what happens here. Gold, there we go. Gold is staying strong on the news right now. It's going to be a safe haven asset. S. Rowling says, but wages are going up, aren't they? Exactly. So wages are going up. So now, let's say wages are going up, and they are. Producers, right? Producers out there are charging you more because they know wages are up. This is not what we want. So if wages go up and the producers are like, yo, people got money, we could charge more for this action, they're going to charge more for the goods. This is not the situation that we want. George Cook says, good time to ape into silver. Yeah, let's get silver up here real quick, up on the screen. Give me a second. I'm going to put up silver. We're going to put the silver market in here. Give me a second. Silver market up on the screen, and look at silver looking juicy on the news right there. Silver at 28. Trick says all things shiny. Nico says Peter Schiff will be creaming his pants today watching gold. So will I, because I've got a bunch of gold that's going off in an auction tonight. That's right. See, I knew CPI data was coming out, and I had a really good inkling that CPI data was going to be bad. So I found an auction house that has auctions ending tonight on a CPI data day. So as the report comes out and it scares people, I am actually auctioning off gold. There you go. So if you're wondering what my plays are, I told Trick, I said, I'm going to wait for some CPI data. I did sell some gold. I sold quite a few ounces, but I got a bunch more going at auction because I have a feeling that greed is going to help me out today. And yes, I would be correct. Jimmy's hanging out with us. What's up, Klaus? What's up with you, Jimmy? How are you doing, kind sir? We're just going over CPI data, talking about a little bit of correction here in the market. The heat map doesn't look so good. Oh, it is not cool. JCD said Fed does the contrary what they say. They're seeing or planning long term. They say 3 cuts this year. They will even raise or not do any. Yeah, we're thinking they're not. We're totally thinking they're not going to cut rates this year. Trick is big into trying to get me to believe this, and I got to lean in on him and say, yeah, I think Trick is right. S. Rowling says, Sly Dog Klaus. No, I follow the macros, man, and I'm telling you, that is why I do what I do. I knew that CPI data was going to be rough with housing and energy. I knew it because I've been following the data. And I was like, well, when does the CPI data come out? It comes out on the 10th. So I made sure I found an auction that ended tonight so that I could sell even more gold at an auction knowing that CPI data was going to be bad. And there you go. There's the gold candlestick right there moving. Looks good and juicy, doesn't it? Ah, pretty cool stuff, isn't it? Let's zoom in a little bit here and let's take a look at food. Food at home is high. What are some of the things creating that? Non-alcoholic beverages, fruits and vegetables, meats and poultry. Food away from home, so food services, restaurants, and all that kind of stuff is very high. If you've taken your sweetheart out to there, guess what? You're paying more. What about energy costs? Services, less energy. Look at this. Shelter up. Medical care up. Transportation services up. What about some of our commodities and other things? Look at this. Tobacco, way high. Hey, new vehicles broke. This is good news, everyone. New vehicles finally broke. This is the first time we've seen negativity in the market for new vehicles. This is awesome. This is awesome. Oh, I love this. Thank you for the coverage, Klaus. I wish the news was better today. Yeah, I wish the news was better too. But see, that's why you hedge against stuff. That's why when all those people out there are telling you, oh, central banks are buying crypto. Central banks aren't buying crypto. Don't listen to that BS. What are central banks doing? Central banks are buying gold. Gold tends to be more attractive during times of instability. We expect gold prices to stay more volatile. Instead, central bank buying has been the main driver. China's central bank added gold to its reserves for a 17th month in a row. There you go. So if big governments out there are buying gold because they're like, yo, things are going to get bad. If we know housing sucks ass, right? If we know energy costs are going up, well, guess what, everyone? That's the deal. I mean, this is... Okay, I got the price of XRP up on the screen. Look, XRP reacted negatively on the news. I got XLM. Let's go to XLM up on the screen. Yep, XLM reacted negatively on the news. What about gold? Gold reacted positively on the news. What about Bitcoin? Bitcoin reacted negatively. So even the store of value digitally, which is Bitcoin, is now pulling the entire crypto market down with it. So for the people that got into crypto, yes, crypto is risky, but how do you hedge risky? You hedge risky with boring. And what's boring? Shiny stuff, metals. Yeah, that's the deal. So if inflation stays high, and you can see it right here, check it out. It's not going down, right? Look at this. It is not going down. So if inflation is not going down, that means rates are going to stay higher for longer, which puts more pressure on safe haven assets to the good side, which is your gold, silver, and so forth. Let me take a quick drink right here. I hope you all do the same. Wow. So that's the deal. CPI data is hot. Things aren't getting better. You can say, let's go, Brandon. Brandon, economics is not working. Inflation is not coming down. The Fed, some say, have maybe not been as aggressive. That's a big problem. George Cook says, hedge with tokenized gold standard and silver standard on the blockchain. Here's the only thing. I'm not a big fan of tokenized gold, because if I want gold, I want to touch it. I want to be able to touch it. I want to be able to sell it, and so forth. All right. I get tokenization of stuff, but I don't know. Like, tokenization of gold just doesn't seem right, because, like, what are you doing? You're trading paper. I mean, Eric Feller says, can we find Stellar decentralized exchange on the heat map? Just curious if finding that or it's a needle in a haystack is easier. I have XLM's price up on the heat map, and as you can see, down almost 6% here in the last 24 hours. Aptos down 15.77%. The market is pulling back big on the fact that economic times are going to be rough for longer. Trick says, I want to polish it. Yeah, exactly. We want to touch it. We want to polish it. And that's the thing. Safe haven assets, right? The true safe haven assets are the ones you can touch. All right? You can buy tokenized gold. You could buy tokenized silver. I get it. But it's paper. When it comes down to it, what are you holding on to? You're just holding on to paper, not the real gold. And that's the whole thing. So, like, for the auctions and all that stuff, right? You guys want to know about juicy auction goodiness. Well, gold rings are worth a lot. Right? I can touch these. I could liquidate these and make tons of money off of gold rings. Yeah, I keep weird stuff, man. And that's the thing. So right now you're going to see the market push harder and harder to safe haven assets. If Middle East tension continues, we're going to have more of a problem. UK's inflation data comes out on the 20th of this month. If UK's inflation data is hot, well, then we're even more screwed, aren't we? Eurozone inflation comes out hot, we're even more screwed. So we have to be very cautious here and make sure that we are not falling into the trap of everyone saying, oh, bro, we're going to the moon, we're going to the moon. How can we go to the moon if inflation is still nasty? How is that going to work for all of us? And that's why I purposely picked, you guys are going to love this, I purposely picked an auction that ended on this day. And the reason I picked it ending on this day is because I knew the report was going to come out bad. And there you go. George Cook says, so is cash fake money. Yeah, cash, especially when money printer goes burr. That's a big, big problem. So what are we thinking right now? We're thinking less rate cuts for longer, right? We're going to be pausing for longer. All right, which is fine. Like, I get it. Okay, we're going to be pausing for longer. But we're also going to be looking at this going, all right. I mean, if it's going to be higher for a while, that means what? That means we're going to be paying more for a long time, and that's not what we want. Oh, and did gold just take a poop on us? Did gold just finally take the poop on us? Yeah, but guess what's going to happen? They're going to start buying because it's only up, or it's only down, what, 0.6%? So I am not worried. I'll take down a 0.6 compared to 5, 6, 7, 8, 10% on that. Oh, man. Last chance says, get ready to hear about CBDCs. We are here to help. But how are CBDCs going to help us with this? Think about that. How are CBDCs going to help us? CBDCs are still tied to fiat. Fiat is still tied to the government's faith. So how is that going to help us? CBDCs is just digital money. It's not anything new. So like if your CBDC is tied to the US dollar, right? If it's tied to the US dollar and the US dollar has pressure, then the CBDCs have pressure. CBDCs aren't going to do what people think they are. They just aren't. Let's see here. Gold call options. Well done. Yeah, gold is up like 15% since last time I saw it. Yeah, I'm telling you. They're looking at like this. And here, let's go to the 2-year, okay? 2 year is a good one. Look at the 2-year. That's the 2-year for gold. Here's the 2-year for XRP. XRP, gold. XRP, gold. XRP sideways, gold, no, not so much. All got to do with inflation. It's all got to do with costs. And it's got to do with the expectations that the Fed is going to pause. In fact, we're looking at June to July for the first chance that we have regarding the Fed not pausing and potentially lowering rates. But the reality is the majority of the market is pricing in the fact that things are going to be negative for a while when it comes to rates. And that is not a good thing. Okay? That is not a good thing at all. So, we're going to be following the markets closely for the rest of the day as the markets dive through this data. If we look deeper into the data here, the index for all items less food and energy rose 0.4% in March, as it did each of the 2 preceding months. Indexes for shelter, motor vehicle insurance, medical care, apparel all went up as well. That's not good. Basically, what we're looking at is energy and housing is what's contributing to this right now. Oh, man. Oh, what a mess, everyone. You know, I was really hoping that we would get some better juicy data today. The reality is, though, is we're going to struggle. We're going to struggle a little bit. And you've got the Bitcoin having 9 days away. Is that going to be pumping the market, or at least holding the market a little bit more stable? Because there's a lot of red up on the screen. Look at this. Over the last 24 hours, ICP down 11, Near down 11, Arbitum down 10, Optimism down 10, Caspit down 5, Fathom bucking the trend, Maker down 5 as well, Rune down 7.5. What about gaming stuff? Gala's down 15%. That's a lot. Chili's fan token. What about Mana? Mana down 7%. Let's take a quick look at the meme. Memes down quite a bit too. Pepe, Floki, Doge, Shib, all down. Oh, yeah. Oh, Sam's got a good one. Sam says, how about people's personal debt? Way out of control. Debt levels are higher right now than they were before the pandemic. Here's the big difference, okay? The big difference is, though, the interest rates that people are paying for debt right now is way higher. Way, way higher. So if we're paying higher interest rates for debt and we have more debt, that means there's less available money for people to spend on other things other than debt. They're paying their interest. That's all they're doing. They're just paying their interest, and that's it. MicroStrategies is down. That's exactly right, Mr. Jason. Why is MicroStrategy down? Because MicroStrategy is basically buying Bitcoin through the stock market. So you're also going to see what? Coinbase going down. You're going to see Bitcoin miners going down. You're going to see a lot of things going down here as the market tries to figure out what the heck to do in the meantime. And that is not what we want at all. We wanted something better for that. Now look, there was some little gold pressure here. Not much, but it's already back up over the 2350 mark. That's why I don't follow the head fakes right away. I look to see what the data is telling us over the next couple of hours. And in fact, looking at XLM right here, look at XLM's downfall on the news. That's the deal. Marcus Dunn says, I'm late, what's happening? CPI data came in hot, my guy. We came in hot at 3.5. That's the highest we've had since September of 2023. So if all of a sudden this trend is pointing up, that puts more pressure on central banks across the globe to keep rates higher for longer. That is not good. Rates stay higher for longer. People accumulate more debt. The debt costs you more. You don't have disposable income. If you don't have disposable income, what's going to help the crypto market? If rates stay higher for longer, what do you think is going to happen to venture capitalists? Venture capitalists then are going to come in, and venture capitalists are going to be like, nah, we can't invest yet. It's still too expensive to invest, so that keeps venture capital money away. That's not a good thing. Alcoholic Click says, welcome, super supporter. Well, thank you, Alcoholic Click, joining the super supporter crew. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much, channel members, and thank you very much to everyone that supports and donates for the channel. I greatly appreciate it. What I notice with gold is that it's flat, 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 and then it spikes. Yes, gold moves. Like when gold moves, it moves. But let's be honest here. When you zoom out at gold, okay, and when you look at the 2-year on gold, this is pretty healthy. I mean, there's been some good money. Good money. Marcus Dunn says, I thought Powell was lowering rates. No way in hell is Powell lowering rates. Especially now, in fact, okay, look, you know we're going to have a live stream on the 1st, right? When Jerome Powell does the rate hike decision, okay? May 1st is the contract date, okay? We know that. You know he's going to go on the mic, and you know he's going to be like, dude, this is BS. And he's going to be rough. Remember the last meeting, 2 meetings ago, he was kind of an ass on the mic? I could see that again. I could definitely see that again. In fact, the conversation of the Fed raising rates is what we're going to have to start digesting here. If the Fed raises rates, crypto will go down further. Venture capital investment will go down. Discretionary spending will go down, and more of people's savings will go down. Heckler Cook says, Fed may raise rates by 50. I hope Fed doesn't raise rates. But now there's big pressure, though, on the Fed considering raising rates because of what happened. Mopar Challengers says, so if gas and food prices are still going up this week, and I'm sure next, April CPI be terrible also. Yeah, and Mopar, pay attention to housing. Look at your housing sales reports and inventory data. If there is very little inventory for homes, what does that do? It drives the price up because there's still a consumer demand because people still have money. So if you see a very low inventory data report for homes, then you know homes are going to stay higher for longer. If homes stay higher for longer, that puts more pressure on central banks across the globe, okay, to keep rates higher, if not raise them. Sir Mr. Jason's got a great question. How much of a possibility do you think they'll raise rates? I don't think he's going to raise. I don't think he's going to raise on this contract. I would almost assume that if we get a bad report in May, like if we get another one, right, where we're up even higher and we're not going down, I could see then in the June contract them having pressure. And check it out. I've got updates, okay? I've got updates for the June contract. This just got uploaded now. For the June contract, right before we went live, the June contract was at about a 50% chance rate of lowering rates. Now the June contract just said 77% chance that we're going to pause. So the market turned bearish more so than normal on the news of increased inflation data. Dan Crow said, did I miss the decision? This isn't the rate hike decision. This is the CPI data. And the data came out hot. Everything on average went up. Food, energy, all items went up hot right now. This is not what we wanted. Now, because of that, you're seeing some softness in the crypto market. There you go. XRP reacting to the news. Bitcoin reacting to the news as well. Gold, yes, there was a little mini sell-off action, but oh, there she goes, climbing on the way back up. It's the safe haven asset play. Oh, man. Okay, and like I said, full disclosure, why did I pick to list some gold for an auction that was expiring tonight? Because I knew the data was going to be bad, because I've been following housing, I've been following energy costs, and I knew based on previous reports that those two are the ones that drive this report more than anything. So that's why I decided to make sure that I found an auction house so I could sell more gold, because Trick told me that I'm stupid if I don't sell more gold. Thank you, Trick. And you know what? Taking profits is good. So I did that. I found an auction that expires tonight, the same day that bad CPI data would come out, so that I could strike while the iron is hot. Dan Crow says, thanks for taking the time to reply. You better believe it. No worries, Dan. I got you back covered. And for anyone watching the stream now that missed the beginning, we dove deeper into the data regarding this. As soon as this live stream is over, it will be put into the live stream folder where you can go check it out. Now, for the Fed and for rates going down, our chances are getting slimmer and slimmer. Remember, the market is always going to price optimism in, right? And optimism is how do you see this, okay? Optimism is like this. People want to sell you optimism. When Danelle Dixon is promising that we're gonna see stablecoin regs in 2023. Like, come on now. She was full of crap. She was just telling people that so people are like, oh, yeah, we're going to get regs. I need to invest now. Brad Garlinghouse is like, yo, there's going to be a $5 trillion market cap in the crypto market. He's trying to get people to invest in. Meanwhile, you're not going to get that action if we can't get inflation down. If you can't get inflation down, not only is that going to keep retail money away, that's going to keep venture capital money away. You do not want that. You need venture capital to come in to start paying for devs. Trick says, I also sold some last week. Good for you. No one ever went broke taking profits. I sold some pretty juicy action on gold. I did really, really well. I sold quite a few ounces. Silver, I'm still thinking about it. I'm thinking I might actually start selling off some silver, taking some profits there too. I think you got to. James Body says, been shorting since yesterday. If you look at the BTC chart, it failed to make new highs after being in an uptrend. Price closed near equal highs last week. The wick touched the levels of the highs. And with this data coming out, and with Bitcoin being the store of value play, you're seeing it's doing the best out of the market here in terms of fighting the negativity. There you go. There you go. So, a lot of stuff is happening right now in the market, and a lot of it is not that juicy. Dog Whiff Hat. Well, Whiff is down 15% right now in the last 24 hours. Eric Feller says gold is probably going to be 6,000, 10,000 in the next 5 years. I think we're going to be in a spike. It was 1,800 in 2011 before retracing. If we still have Middle East problems, if we still have inflation problems, where the Fed now is expected to take a pause for the year, we're going to be in some hurt. Trick says, I'm going to sell some silver when it hits 30. Trick, I did really good with my silver buying. The majority of my averages when it comes to per ounce is under 20. So, I mean, I'm in a pretty good driver's seat right now. I might sell some of my scrap stuff just because, I mean, hey, take profits, buy on the market correction and replay it. I mean, just throwing it out there. More monkey businesses. Klaus, do you know anyone who wants to buy sand? I've got a desert full. It's the same thing with my guys and gals in Antarctica saying, I've got ice for sale. Anyone need ice? Well, down in the south we do because it gets hot. Oh, man. But yeah, let's bring everyone up to speed. Okay, so here is what happened. CPI data came out, and it came out real high. 3.5%, way higher. My guess was 3.1 to 3.4, and it even beat that. That's not good. That's not good at all right? Now, why do we follow CPI data? because Jerome Powell and the Fed said that this report is their biggest report that they use in order to decide if they're going to raise rates or lower. So, if we know that the inflation is going high and Jerome Powell watches this, we know that we can predict on May 1st, when it's the meeting date, that they're going to pause. So you're going to see the market start pricing that action in because of the forthcoming negativity. Now, what do we have that's good for us? We've got the halving coming up in 9 days and 10 hours. But is the halving going to be enough, man? Is the halving going to be enough in order to keep all of this at bay? Is the halving enough of the news to where the halving is going to be strong enough to fight the inflation data? I don't know. Halving is good. Halving is juicy. Halving is really, really nice. But is halving enough to get rid of bad economic data? And look what I've got. I've got my little box of goodies. Trick says he doesn't sell, he's going to sell the scrap and not the cream. Well, I'm glad you brought that up because, look, there's even more juicy goodiness in here. And silver drinking tea straw spoons. Come on now, guys. You got to get into the gold and silver action because there's a lots of juice in it. How about this? Sterling silver knife sharpener. Come on now. You got to get into the metals because metals are a good way to hedge against this stuff. Nico says, JP Morgan's top analyst said, if the rise is only 0.1%, the S&P should rally 1.25 to 1.75. I would like to see some sectors rally. I would like to see the metal sectors rally. Housing sector, I think you're going to see some mess with that too. I got to be honest with you. I think you're going to see some mess with that too. And look, gold is already inching its way back on up. Getting right now to 23.60 as we speak. So even gold, people sold off real quick, took some profits, and now it's climbing right back up. Last Chance says, Mr. Klaus, when do you think crypto adoption starts to really kick off? I think crypto adoption is here. I mean, who doesn't know about crypto right now? I mean, seriously, who doesn't know about crypto? A few years ago, we were worried about crypto adoption, right? Because we were sitting here going, well, wait a minute. Once people know what crypto can do, blah, 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 we're going to be better with adoption. People knew. People know what crypto can do. There's a lot of people that were into crypto. A lot of people that were into crypto when times were juicy, right? When times were like this. Look at all this volume right here at the bottom of the screen. That's when people were into crypto. Now look at the volume here compared to this. There's not as much. The adoption is here. The people that want to use crypto are into it. The people that don't are deciding not to. Now, will we see increased adoption in developing countries? Yes, of course, because they're going to be the last ones to get, exposed to it in such a grand scale. But adoption is mostly here. I mean, think about it. Everyone knows that you can move money cheaply with XRP and XLM. Everyone knows that BTC is the store of value play. So when we're talking about adoption into the market, I mean, then what? Right? The market knows. The market knows about crypto. The market isn't caught off guard going, oh, crypto, is this new? No, we know about it. So when it comes to the adoption play, I'm thinking a lot of people got into it. Lawrence Williams says, Klaus, I think I will sell some silver bullion at the end of this week. We may be near $20, maybe some gold bullion as well. I sold quite a few ounces of gold, and I've got a couple ounces of gold slated to go off on auction tonight. I'm, again, trying to capitalize on the big macroeconomic data news that's been going out, which is high CPI data, which pushes the Fed rate cuts further out. Silver looking good. Check it out. Silver right now sitting at $28.22. Silver had the same little mini correction. Look at that. Little fakey sell-off on the news and then right back up there on the top. People taking some profits. Sam Lisp says, I got to go. Buy some gold. Yeah, I mean, and that's the whole thing. So like tokenized stuff. Let me ask you a question, okay? You know how like people talk about like tokenized assets and stuff like that? That's all well and good, okay? But like, how cool is a tokenized asset if it's just paper, right? If it's just paper. But I could take gold chains. I could take gold rings and I can trade it. I can sell it. I can do whatever. I physically got it in my hands. Physically got it. Silver bracelets, yeah, got a whole bunch of them. Silver snuffers, you guys are going to like this. Sorry, I'm just having some fun right now. Silver candle snuffers, yeah, I got your back covered. So there's a lot of silver out there. And the thing is people are buying it physically. Tokenized gold and silver, I struggle with that. Because if you want gold, you want to touch it, you want to hold it. You want it in your possession. Trick says, I saw 24 karat go for $65 on the gram. Yes, I know. It's awesome, dude. It is awesome. Meanwhile, the crypto markets, right, are starting to kind of come back a little bit from the move this morning. Are they down from where the start? Yes, they are. But you could saw there was a little bit more support here at the 12.5 cent mark for XLM. For XRP, we got some support there right at that 60 cent mark. Check it out. 59.8 it got to. So we were there. Lawrence Williams says, if we're lucky, XRP could probably get to the 2021 high of $1.80. I don't think it has enough juice to get past this in the bull run. It doesn't. It doesn't have enough juice to get past. Because think about this, right? Look at the 1 year. I'm going to put the 1 year up, okay? And then we're going to zoom into the 6 month. In about the middle of October, the 6 month, this is where this thing started roaring. And now look, you compare XRP to BTC. Since the market was roaring, all right? Since the market was roaring, XRP is up 20%. That's not bad. But Bitcoin is up 147. ICP has pulled back here quite a bit, right? So if ICP has pulled back quite a bit, let me bring up ICP. And now this is, mind you, this is after ICP has already pulled out. ICP is up 415%. There was money out there, and the money went into other things. In fact, let's do this. Let's now compare this also to Solana. All right? Let's pick that to Solana. So now Solana up 643% at the same time. So for everyone out there saying, oh man, XRP is going to be going to the moon, what is going to make it go to the moon? We know what XRP does. We know what its use cases are. We also know that compared to the rest of the market, XRP is up 20% while Bitcoin is up 133%. And Bitcoin is boring, right? ICP up nearly 400%. Sol up about 600%. So when people out there, oh, crypto adoption, can't wait for adoption. Everyone knows about it. Everyone knows that you can move money cheaply with crypto, but it's not doing anything, is it? It's not. It's simply not. And that's where I think a lot of people are sitting here with the narrative going, oh, bro, adoption. Oh, bro, utility. Adoption, we all know about it. Lawrence Williams says, I'm in $30 for silver. Oh, God, I hope so. I hope so. Now, the big question I have to ask for you guys and gals is, what are you expecting for the rest of this year? Are you expecting a rate cut? Are you expecting us to pause? Or are you expecting Jerome Powell and the Fed to raise rates? That's the thing, man. If we're going to raise rates this year, we are in deep crap. Raising rates this year, you better be holding on big to gold and silver. You better be paying with cash, with everything to avoid interest rates, because you do not want to fight that interest rate demon. That is bad. That is bad as could be. Eric Feller says XRP is just doing nothing. But it did go to 94 cents in 1 to 2 hours. Yeah, it did. And then people took profits on that. And that's the thing. That's what there was people that used Torres as exit liquidity. Check it out. The Torres move lasted what, like 25 minutes? Like 25 minutes, that's it. And then what happened? People took profits on it. It didn't take long to erase the Torres pump. Look, the Torres pump got erased in 1 month. Oh, here, you want to see something really cool? Let's go to DeFi Llama, okay? We're going to go to DeFi Llama. I'm going to show you something here, okay? So we're going to go to DeFi Llama. We're going to go to chains, and we're going to put Stellar in. You want to see how much money there is, but they don't want to stick around? Check this out. So we're on DeFi Llama right now. Let me do this. Give me a second. Give me a second. We're letting DeFi Llama load up the goodiness. While DeFi Llama's loading up, let's take a look at the heat map. Bitcoin sitting at 67,896. Sol, or ETH 3434. Sol 165. Dot, Matic, ICP near, all down big on the news. The market was pricing in the action. Okay, check this out. All right. Yes, is there money out there? You better believe there's money out there because look, when the news happened regarding the Torres pump, this is the TVL on Stellar's chain. Stellar's TVL was like 22 million, 30 million, shot up to 66 million. And a day later, the money was gone. So for everyone out there like, well, wait a minute. You know, Stellar, XRP is all good. No, there was an opportunity for people to have money and they took it. They played the pump and then they played the dump. Same thing with the TVL on Stellar. The liquidity pools saw tons of cash for one day and then people took profits. Come on now. Trick says no move till mid-2025 in my opinion. I can't see interest ever going below 3 for a long time. Trick, one of the things that has been crossing my mind is what if the 2020s just suck for growth? What if the whole problem with 2020 as a decade is just no growth? Think about that. If interest rates stay higher for longer, that thwarts growth. When it thwarts growth, you're going to see an economic slowdown with jobs. You're going to see an economic slowdown with GDP. And that's a big deal because think of all the debt that these countries are rolling. It's okay to have a lot of debt if you've got a lot of cash inflow to pay it off. Now, if you have a lot of debt like our countries do, but all of a sudden GDP starts going down because interest rates stay higher for longer, well then guess what? Businesses aren't going to be expanding. Growth sectors like risky tech stuff is not going to be expanding. That puts a lot of crap out there. So we might see the 2020s might be the time where the market just goes sideways and sucks for a while. And that really sucks. Like really, really sucks. A no growth 2020 would just be bad. 2020s. So there is money out there. Is it flowing to all the cryptos? No, it's not. It's flowing to ones where people are like, all right, these got juice, these got potential. Oh, but bro, you're being negative regarding XLM. Oh, bro, you're being negative regarding XRP. Well, here's the 2-year chart on XRP, and that looks boring. Zoom out a little bit more, and you're like, oh, man, ever since the big pumps, it's really, really boring. You zoom out with Bitcoin, and you do the same thing. You're like, okay, we went good, we went to a boring, and then boom, Bitcoin took off. So there is money out there. Check this out, right? Look at the same thing. All right, let's put Solana up on the screen just so you can see what I'm talking about here. Solana, zoom out, right? Money printer go burr 2021, 2022. And it went sideways and then it pumped big. Pumped big mid-October. XRP, money printer went burr. Now it's basically gone sideways. XLM, look at the same thing. Ever since XLM boomed, now we're going sideways again. So there are winners and there are losers in this market. I get it. Channels are going to be out there telling you, oh, we're going to melt faces. Oh, wait until the ISO pump. Oh, grown men are going to cry. You know why grown men are going to cry? Because they invested in gold. And because over the last 5 years, gold is going up and up and up. Meanwhile, some of our cryptos here are stuck going sideways. Look at this, right? You never get back time. I always tell everyone that you never get back time. If you have held on to XRP or XLM for the last 2 years, you're at the price where we were when Luna UST crashed. You've gone sideways for 2 years. Look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin, when Luna UST crashed right here, that was at 26,000 for Bitcoin. It's more than doubled it. So since the Luna UST crash, things have been moving. What about Solana? At the Luna UST crash, Solana was right at $54. It's now at $164. It's 3x'd since Luna UST crash, since this whole mess started. Yet XRP and XLM cannot get out of their own way. In fact, In fact, when you look at XLM, looks even worse than XRP. Not good, everyone. And when you start looking at how far these are from all-time highs, don't you remember on this channel when we used to cover Stellar? And Stellar was in like the top 15 for market cap. Here they are right now at 32nd place, down 86% from an all-time high. Hinman emails. Yes, Trick, that's right. Oh, we're going to moon on the Hinman emails. Oh, the SEC is going to want to settle because they don't want the Hinman emails out. They don't give a crap about that. They don't give a crap about that at all. Filecoin. Remember when Filecoin was in front of Congress and got roasted? Well, guess what? Filecoin is at $8.27. Aptos at $11.83, climbing their way back. People can sit there, oh, but meme. Dude, how you make money is how you make money, man. That's how it works. All right? That is how it works. Now, here we're going to do, this is what we're going to, oh yeah, don't forget the train. Yeah, that's right. You better get into XRP because the train is going to leave the station. If the train is leaving the station, how is that possible? We're at the same price we were for 2 years. 2 years, man. So the whole narrative of, oh, you're going to miss out, the train is going to leave the station. They're just trying to get you to buy so that they can use you for exit liquidity. Why do you think the Torres pump did not last with XRP? It was buy the rumor, sell the news. Oh, wait for adoption. What adoption are you talking about? We know what XRP can do. We know what XLM can do. People know about it. It's not like this is new. It's not like people are like, wait a minute. You can move money cheaply? I didn't know that. Oh my God, now I can move money way cheaper. No. The jig is up, man. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to end the stream at 9:25. We're going to end it at 9 minutes. I got a couple things I got to catch up with in this morning. Any questions or comments? Now is the time to ask because, yes, data came in bad. And guess what? It ain't good and it's not going to stay good. George Cook says there's no moon until ISOs, until after the DID and CBDCs roll out. But the whole thing is if investors know that ISO is there, how come they're not getting into it now? That's what I'm saying. Be very careful of the narrative, okay? Of the narrative out there being sold. Well, XRP always pumps after Bitcoin. Are they telling you that because XRP didn't pump with Bitcoin? The rest of the market decided to pump with Bitcoin. The rest of the market is looking pretty good. XRP and XLM isn't. I mean, people just have to be very cautious of the narrative that's being sold to them when the data is telling you that money is going to stay expensive for a while, that debt is going to go up for a while, that, yeah, there were people that were playing on the Stellar chain when the Torres pump happened. And they put a bunch of money in and then they pulled it all out right away. The reason the market is dumping is because rates are going to stay higher for longer, because inflation is out of control. This is inflation for the United States. This is inflation for the UK on the screen. 3.4 is too high. 3.5 is what we got here in the United States. It's way too high. XRP me says, not the narrative, but the negative. Yeah, I get it, man. Alcoholic Click, thank you for joining the channel, says, thanks all, back to work, could use a cold one. Do the cold one after work. That's not financial advice, that's just work, don't drink advice. Just drink after work. Eric Feller says, I think they overlapped XRP and BTC charts. Yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing. When you look at XRP compared to it, it's been a piss poor performer. And yet people are like, oh, bro, they're going to melt faces. Everyone knows about XRP. Everyone knows about it. Like we're not in the discovery phase anymore. And that's what bothers me about this. It's not like we're sitting here going, oh, what's new? What's new? What's new? Oh, okay, cool. Jim Wheeler says, so you are selling gold for a currency that is being debased at an expanding rate. I'm selling gold to take profits so I could roll that into other investments. See, I'm very heavy gold and silver, and I've been very heavy gold and silver because I knew there would be a time for me to capitalize. So now I can take the fiat that I get from gold and buy other asset classes that have been pounded so I can make more money on them in the future. Oh, that's why you buy gold. You don't sit there and sell gold and sit on all the cash. You got to reinvest some of that cash. Now, is it good to have cash on hand? Yeah, because if you have cash on hand, you could buy big bags. Just throwing it out there. George Cook says, thank you for your insight, Klaus. Awesome live as always. Joe Knight, so if everyone knows, why not promote other coins? Because, Joe, it's expectation versus reality. The expectation was that XRP is going to melt faces. BRICS is going to use XRP. XRP, train leave. The expectations were so high that there's no way it could meet those expectations. Oh, all the money in the world is going to flow on XRP. Oh, when the economic system collapses, XLM and XRP is going to move money. No, it was all stuff that was touted so high, such BS, that never materialized. So if I keep telling you over and over and over, oh my gosh, the White Sox are going to win. The White Sox are going to win the World Series. Oh my God, the White Sox. And they don't do it, what do you think's going to happen? People are going to sell on the White Sox. And that's what happens with XRP. There's so much hopium, so much hype out there that it's not fulfilling its promise. All right? Investors are looking at this and the investors are going, okay, XRP is kind of Bitcoin looks really good. More people are moving over into Bitcoin. Store of value. Of all the plays right now, what's the biggest play? Biggest play is store of value. In fact, remember, what was one of the narratives you were sold? Oh, central banks are going to buy XRP. Central banks is going to... AI, Joe Knight, by the way. Every business right now can save with AI. Seriously, AI is the next big thing. The next sustainable big thing. Why? Not every company can save money on moving money internationally for cheap, right? XRP and XLM are really good for doing that. But where can companies save money? On labor. And how do you save money on labor? You go to AI. What was the first version of saving money on labor? We moved work offshore. We sent money to India, or labor to India, jobs to India, right? The Middle East. Now, we're like, how can we save even more money? AI. Companies right now, when companies try to cut money, what's the first thing they do? They cut staff. Haven't you noticed every time you go online, hold on, let me see. Go to autoparts.com. Watch this, right? You go online, need help, chat with us. What do you think this is? This is AI right here. So instead of a person, right? Instead of a person now dealing with us, guess what you've got? Let's chat with an agent. This is an AI agent. So if companies out there are looking to fight inflation, how do you do it? Pretty easy. You move to AI. Instead of outsourcing your work to India and so forth, you save even more money by going to AI. Can some businesses benefit from cheaper moving money across borders? Yes, of course. But not every business has international payments. A lot of businesses are restricted to their own country. Well, guess what? They can't take advantage of XRP and XLM, but they can take advantage of AI. And you're seeing AI everywhere. Go on any website to order something, it's all AI, man. It is. So right now, what's going to be the next biggest thing? It's AI. What saved businesses? All right, and let's do this, okay? Let's do this. Let's talk, okay? Let's you and I talk. When inflation was bad, and for those people out there, Trick's age, older than myself, when the 70s and 80s were bad with inflation, right? What did companies do? They were looking at the computer to save money. All of a sudden, right, you could use a computer and it would calculate all this stuff for you that before you had to use your calculator, write it down, put it into like a paper ledger and so forth. Then the computer comes and all of a sudden they're like, whoa, we don't need 6 people calculating data. We could use a computer to do it. So computers were a big tool, okay? Computers were a massive tool to fight inflation. Now you have the internet come out. Now companies are like, whoa, the internet's out. Now we can use the internet to help us save money. We could use the internet to outsource customer service calls. How many times have you called for something and your call gets transferred to overseas. That's because the internet is allowing them to access stuff from the servers, right? Your data, all that kind of stuff, your order history and all that. So companies started using the internet and computers to save money. Now that the entire world has access to the internet, essentially, now that high-speed internet is becoming more common, you can't save money that way because everyone's doing it. So now how do you save money? Artificial intelligence. So yes, I understand that yes, you can save big money at Menards. No, you could save big money at XRP, moving money internationally. It's cheap. You can move millions of dollars for a fraction of a penalty. All right? Fraction of a penalty. Or penny, Jesus. But not every business can take advantage of that. Right? You can't. But every business can cut back on labor. When was the last time you were at Walmart? When was the last time you were there? Self-checkout. What about Target? Self-checkout. They're saving money on labor by having you do stuff. More Monkey Business says AI can do the shortcuts for companies. It's totally true. Look, I just went on autoparts.com and look what popped up, a chat box. It's an AI chat box. That's how you're saving money. What about carparts.com, right? Carparts.com. You go to that here too. After a while, guess what's going to happen? Oh, here it is. Here's my AI chatbot, Car Parts Assistant. It's all AI, everyone. AI is where it's going to be at. XRP says it's the banker's coin. That's awesome. But if only banks can use it, that's only a small portion of the globe. Everyone can cut labor. Everyone can use AI. Everyone can save with getting rid of customer service. Everyone can save with that stuff, right? But you can't save with moving money internationally with every business. All right? I like to think of mom and pop's businesses too, right? The backbones of our countries. Mom and pop's businesses benefited a lot from the internet. Well, they're going to be able to benefit from AI. You're going to have companies out there selling AI to help companies save money. So I get it. I get the narratives and I get all that. But just remember and ask yourself this. Every time you order something online, you have to deal with an AI chatbot. That replaced a real person's job. Every time you go to Walmart and you do self-checkout, that replaced a real person's job. Companies now, in order to do customer service, they're pushing it all to AI. That means everyone can save. How do companies save money? You all know it too. How many out there work for a company and the company's like, look, we have to cut costs. What's the first thing you do? Do they cut the execs' pay? No. Do they cut the bonuses from the execs? No. Do they cut their travel expenses where they're buying like $200 bottles of like wine and stuff like that? No. They cut labor of their workforce. Now, if they can cut labor through customer service, data entry with AI, they're going to do it. So if you want to know what's the big thing is going to be AI because we have to fight inflation. And how do you fight inflation? You have to cut your costs. Does every business move money internationally? No. Does every business, though, have labor? Yes. And labor is replaceable by AI. You tell me what's going to be more important. A technology that everyone can use or a technology that only a very few can use? The one that everyone can use is going to be big. Joe Knight says, you should also report the news on AI. I think you would do great. Well, thanks, Joe. I actually appreciate that. Yeah, I think that's actually a good idea. I think that's actually a really good idea. I think I probably will be covering AI more because AI is going to be a bigger segment of what we're dealing with. Eric Feller says, yes, with technology, you cut labor. And that's the whole point. See, everyone got the internet. Everyone's got computers now. So that's not helping us. We're all on the same plane. But now companies are going to start using AI more and more and more. XRP Me says, but every business moves money. Shaking my head. Yeah, but not every business moves money internationally. So, and Venmo moves money for free. Like, so come on now, man. XLM is for smaller businesses, dummy. You are the dummy. Because you're buying in the narrative thinking that, oh my gosh, we're gonna, every business moves money. Are you serious? Like, come on now. The majority of businesses out there pay bills. They don't move money. They pay bills. They go to their bank, they write a check out. They use their debit card. There are no fees with that. So they can pay those bills without even worrying. XRP and XLM are great at cross-border payment efficiency. That is not something everyone can use. MEP is hanging out with us. MEP says, I think it's a better idea to think about what will there still be in 10 years versus what's the next big thing. That's a great way to look at it. That is a really good way to look at it. What is going to be the thing that sustains us? And yeah, cross-border payments are going to be there. But cross-border payments isn't something we all use. But we all go to the grocery store at Walmart. We all are now our own self-checkout people. We all like to order stuff online. And when you order stuff online, oh, there's the AI chat box. When I went to order something online, you think they're like, would you like to save money by paying with XRP? No, that's the dumbest I've ever heard. AI is where it's at. One of the things, MEP, and then this we'll end with this, and then we'll log off. One of the things that bothers me when it comes to cross-border payments is remittances. Sending money from the United States to Mexico, sending money from Canada to Mexico, and all that stuff, right? Cool. Cool. People aren't taking advantage of it. Why do you think MoneyGram has 0 fees? Because the program sucks and no one's using it. They'd rather use Western Union. And that's the deal. Eric Feller says, I like cash versus credit card or debit card. Spend $50 in cash 100 times, you still have $50. Yeah. Cash is great. Cash allows you the flexibility to buy and to have power. But AI, I'm telling you, is going to wipe the floor with everyone. Joe Knight says diversity is key. People believe in one product when there are multiple categories that are successful. Joe, you're absolutely right. Diversification. Diversification. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to end the stream right here because I think you guys all and gals all understand where I sit at with AI and all that. So let's do this. I'm going to play some music in the background. You know the deal, Lemon Peel. Make sure you say goodbye to each other in the chat. I do have something I'm pressed up on time that I have to do right here, looking at the old Garmin. So yeah, let's do it. I'm going to play some music. Hang out with us. Mucho Nachos says medical AI is going to be big. Exactly. AI is going to be everywhere. Everyone can use AI, but not everyone moves money the way you think. I don't need XRP and XLM to pay my bills. I could just go online, key my debit card in. I don't get charged any fees. It's freaking awesome. AI saves us the money. All right, everyone, I'm going to play some tunes. Make sure you say goodbye to each other in the chat. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciated the stream today. The stream was really, really good. So, until I see you all later, make sure you cool cats have a great rest of your day.